Check. Alright, I'm trying to see if this will work. Apparently it is receiving my content now. Okay. So apparently we are live. At least I think we are live. Apparently it is receiving my content now. Okay, so we're live and we're going to be talking about Extreme Rules. Welcome to the Baydzone podcast show. And, well, tonight we had Raw's exclusive brand pay-per-view. That being Extreme Rules. And this pay-per-view in particular, we bore witness to what took place tonight at Extreme Rules. We had a few matches. There wasn't too many. There was just a few. There was just a few matches, and most of them they weren't that good. Nothing was that interesting. It was rather a sad thing to watch because it just wasn't that great. Now, they had a great main event and they had a great tag team match, but everything else on this card was booked absolutely atrociously. Now, we start off with pre-show, and the pre-show had... I didn't really watch the pre-show, that's the thing, guys. I got in at the end of the pre-show, and it was Apollo Crews versus Kalisto. From what I saw of their exchange and what they did with their match, I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cool because I got in halfway through the match towards the end. I didn't really see a whole lot of what they did. So I only just saw a bit of the end. And I thought it was good. I thought it was cool for a pre-show match. Nothing really that great. I don't know if there was another match on the pre-show or what they were doing. They were probably just talking most of the pre-show about what was happening. And they also apparently did the official announcement of Great Balls of Fire. And they did the promo during the pay-per-view showing, Great Balls of Fire. And they showed the logo. They showed a little promo package, and they had the music. Oh, Great Balls of Fire! They had all that. So it was cool to see that they used that music. I actually liked that. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's a ridiculous name. It's stupid. The pay-per-view is probably not going to be that great, but I'm actually kind of looking forward to Great Balls of Fire. Forgive me. Forgive me for being somewhat intrigued. The only match that really has me any bit intrigued is the Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar match. But we know, without a shadow of a doubt, Samoa Joe is not going to walk out of Great Balls of Fire with the win. He's not going to walk out with the Universal Championship. As much as we, as fans, would love to get behind Samoa Joe and see him get pushed to the moon and get the title off of Lesnar on a B pay-per-view show like Great Balls of Fire. I don't know if Vince wants to make a brand new pay-per-view and build it up to be something massive before SummerSlam, but this is regarded as a B show pay-per-view, so it's not an A grade show like, say, SummerSlam or Survivor Series or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. It's just B. So it's, one of those B-grade bullshit. And Samoa Joe is going to get fed to Lesnar. He's going to be used for Lesnar's momentum. It's going to be sad to see that Samoa Joe is going to be used like this, but it's going to put Lesnar over a bit more, and it's going to give Lesnar a bit of a rub, which is something he doesn't really need, but this is something that Samoa Joe needs. he's just not going to get it, And sorry if I spoiled it for you straight away about Joe being the guy, but if you didn't see Extreme Rules, Samoa Joe is the man that's going to be facing Brock Lesnar. I think they will do a pretty good match. I hope it's back and forth. I really hope that they give Joe a decent amount of in-ring time with Lesnar. I'm hoping they give him 20 minutes, but I'm thinking it's going to be 15 minutes max, or they're going to do fucking 10 minutes of Lesnar and fucking Joe just going all out, and then, Lesnar's going to beat him. Because Lesnar doesn't like being in the ring long. At least not in the year 2016 or 17. He hasn't done a good 20-minute match since 2015. He hasn't. That was the year that Lesnar was doing some of his best work. It was 2015. When he had the triple threat with Rollins and Cena. That was amazing. That was, 20 minutes? Then they did... Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That was fucking amazing. That was 20 minutes. Then they did, Hell in a Cell, Lesnar versus Taker. That was still great. That was 20 minutes. All these great matches. WrestleMania 2015, Roman Reigns versus Lesnar. That was probably one of Lesnar's best Mania matches he ever did. If not, that probably was his best Mania match he ever did. It was just so fucking amazing to watch. And I went into the pay-per-view hating Reigns. I went into that pay-per-view not wanting Reigns in that spot. I felt like Dolph Ziggler deserved it. But he gained my respect after what I saw. And if you could not respect Roman Reigns after what he went through, after what his body went through that night with Brock Lesnar at Santa Clara, then I don't know how you could respect wrestling at all, because that was such a beating. Roman Reigns went through such a brutal beating that night, and he just earned my respect. And I think he deserves a lot more respect than he's given, but I think Roman Reigns is booked in a very bad way. And it's doing him more harm than what he needs as a face, and it's doing the company more harm than, what they need if they want to put him in that top spot and they want no sort of weird, awkward sort of backlash going on, which they've been getting for years now. So, I was rooting for Roman tonight when I watched this pay-per-view, because I watched, and forgive me for saying that, but there was a podcast I watched, JD from NY 206, and he talks a lot about wrestling all the time. If you know wrestling podcasts and you listen to them, you will know the name JD from NY 206. At least I'd hope you'd know the name, because he's a very great podcaster. And he spoke about why make us wait? Why make us fans wait a whole year to see Lesnar just chew up all our beloved talent like Rollins, Balor, Joe, Bray Wyatt, all the guys that we've been getting behind and rooting for and hoping, praying that these guys would get a championship win or get that opportunity to get on that big stage and have that great moment. Why should we bear witness for a full year straight and be in misery watching some of our favourites go down to the hands of Brock Lesnar? And why should we wait a year to see Roman Reigns overcome the odds again, which there is no odds stacked against him? It's so predictable. It's just another win for Roman. It's another win to make Roman look powerful. Super Roman, Super Reigns, Super Cena 2.0. It's the same thing. Put Roman Reigns in the main event with Lesnar next year. See how the fans react. See how they react. They're going to boo Brock Lesnar, and they're going to boo Roman Reigns. And the fans are going to be pissed. They're going to hate it. And I'm probably going to sit back. I'm going to laugh at the company for being that ridiculous and that stupid. But Vince is stubborn. And he's a bit senile as well. He's a bit old with his thinking. He's not giving the fans what they want. He's giving himself what he wants. Now, as soon as the fans realise that, I guess that's when they will stop caring, because I've reached the point now where, yes, I do care, but at the same time, I've had to detach myself a bit, because if I got so wrapped up in it all, and if I got so annoyed about it, like majority of people do online, I'd find myself being pretty miserable, because look at Roman Reigns, he's getting everything, and everyone's booing him all the time, and it's just this miserable, dark atmosphere that surrounds Roman Reigns and everything that he's involved in. The fans are always booing, he's always got a negative energy surrounding him, he's starting to act like a heel. You can see Roman doesn't care anymore. He doesn't want to be a face. He loves it when the people boo him, because he's pissed off about it, and he wants to act in a way that gives him, a way of saying fuck you to the fans. And he's getting everything handed to him on a silver platter, and he's saying fuck you in response to the fans, in the way he speaks, the way he holds himself. He's got this, the commentators like to put it over as a thing of, okay, Roman's just confident. It's just confidence, but it's not. It's cocky arrogance. And there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. There are some faces out there that do confidence very well. Guys like Cena. Guys like Daniel Bryan. They do confidence well. Roman Reigns does something entirely opposite from that, and that is arrogance. And the fans hate it, and they know it. They know what he's doing. They know all this stuff about Roman. Why he's got this opportunity. It's all Vince, all this stuff, and they don't like it. The people are just rebelling against the authority, and they want... and when I say the authority, I don't mean the TV authority. I don't mean Triple H and Steph. I mean just the creative team in general and Vince McMahon. People are rebelling against what they want because they don't want that. They want what they want. And Vince is just sitting there like, no, I want this. This is what I want. And the fans are like, no, I want this. See, Vince is a fan as well in his own mind. Put yourself in Vince's shoes, okay? If you were Vince McMahon and you had a creative mind, and you had all this money, you had all this power, and you had a line of talent that was in your company, and you could choose any single one of them, and you could get any dream match that you want, anything that would satisfy you, you'd probably want to go with what you want, rather than something someone else would want. Because what if you personally didn't want that match? What if you didn't want to make that? What if you didn't want to watch that? What if that year you were like, oh shit, I've got to wait another year to WrestleMania, but I don't want to watch this match that they want. I want to watch what I want. Why should I wait another whole year to get what I want? Yeah, maybe I could get them to wait another year. But then, you got people like Undertaker that have injuries, and people want John Cena versus The Undertaker. But sadly, it just didn't happen, because what happened? We got Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, and Vince is like, no, I want to put over the young talent. I want to, and then apparently Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, was like the same. I want to put over the young talent. But I think it was just Vince. He just wanted what he wanted. He wanted to make a big match, a mega match. He wanted to make Big Dog versus Big Dog. Because they used to call The Undertaker, they used to call him the Big Dog or something like that. Yeah, they try to put over this whole angle about whose yard is it now, and we all knew it was going to Reigns. We all knew it was going to Roman Reigns. It's just predictable. And I'm yawning right now. It's predictable. But WWE, I can't get too caught up in it. I have to sort of detach myself a bit. And so we're going to go on Brock Lesnar's part-time tour. We're going to watch Brock Lesnar job out Joe first, and then we're going to get Finn Balor, and then we're probably going to get Rollins, and then we're going to get, maybe Bray Wyatt. I don't know. They might do Rollins at SummerSlam. They might do Balor at SummerSlam. Hell, they might even do both of them. So Lesnar doesn't have to come back as much. But I hear that Lesnar's going to be doing more dates than what he did when he was champion back in previous years when he's doing the part-time gimmick, which is his constant fucking character. It's really bad for Raw to have a part-time champion, but I guess this is what we have to deal with when we've got Goldberg versus Lesnar main eventing. I guess they just have to put Lesnar over like this. They have to keep the title on him. They have to keep it part-time for a long time, and they have to just drag this out. So, okay, so Fatal 5-Way was a great match. A lot of hard-hitting stuff going on. It was great. I'll get to the match, but I want to talk a bit about this show because I've babbled on enough about a lot of stuff. I think I should talk about the actual show, Extreme Rules. Now, we started off with... What match did we start off with? We started off with the Intercontinental title, the Intercontinental Championship, Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. Oh my god. This match was just meh. If you know what meh means, it's just like, yeah, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about this match, honestly? I couldn't care less. I honestly could not care less about Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. It was so sloppy. It was so slow. It was decent in some areas. It was okay. But it was mostly just a match that you sit there and you go, you're not excited for it. You don't feel pumped up. You don't feel hyped at any moments. You just look at it and you just feel this bit of Mojo Rawley come to life inside you, and you just say, this ain't hype. That's pretty much my reaction to this match. This ain't hype, because it's just fucking not hype, man. It's just boring. It's just boring. Honestly. It's bullshit. This match was just meh. Meh at best, okay? And I tried to get into it. I kind of got somewhat a little bit into it near the ending of it. But, it was just an okay match. It was just a Raw match at best, really. It just felt like something that would come out of a Monday Night Raw episode. So there's the Intercontinental title. The ending of the match, Miz did a whole lot of weird shit. He tried to get a DQ win. He said to Maurice, slap me, quick, slap me, while the ref was looking over at him. And Maurice slapped him, and the ref looked at Maurice and then looked at Dean Ambrose, and Miz fell down to the ground and was overselling it. And, the ref was like, oh, you're with him? You're helping him? Oh, that's it. You're out of here. And he threw out Maurice. And Maurice was walking up the ramp. She's like, fucking, don't you throw me out. And the Miz was like, no, don't throw her out. But he was also trying to act like, oh, you betrayed me, sort of thing at the same time. Okay, so there was that moment that happened, and Maurice is walking up the ramp, and then the Miz shoves the ref into Dean Ambrose when the ref has his back turned at Maurice. At the Miz, he has his back turned, but he's looking over at Maurice. And Miz throws Dean into the ref, and the ref falls out of the ring. Dean is there, and the ref looks up at Dean. He's pretty much just got shoved into him, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? I'm the official." And he goes to walk over the ring bell. He's about to DQ Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is following the ref like, "Please don't DQ me. Please don't do this." And the Miz does the skull-crushing finale on Dean Ambrose from behind, and then goes to cover him. The ref quickly runs into the ring, counts Dean Ambrose 1, 2, 3. The ref screws Dean Ambrose over. So it's pretty much all the referee's fault. It'd be quite funny if they did some angle where Dean goes after the referee. It'd be pretty funny, but I don't think that's going to happen. I actually thought originally that Elias Sampson was going to get involved, but he didn't. He actually had a segment on the show, though, where he was in the middle of the ring. He sang a song about how awful Baltimore was, and he was talking about how a beast is among us, and he sang about the Fatal 5-Way, stuff like that. Major heat magnet for his music. I actually like his music, and I think this gimmick is amazing. I think this could be something that the fans are going to grow to love, kind of like the New Day. They hated the New Day at first with a passion, and then eventually they grew to love it. And I think this is exactly what's going to happen with Elias Sampson. People are going to hate him at first, but then they're going to be like, "Wow, this guy's great. We really didn't realise what we had," and they're going to grow to love him. And then he's probably going to be one of the most over guys ever. At least I'd like to think he would be, because this gimmick is so unique and it's great, and I love it. I think he's got a good voice as well. He reminds me a bit of Johnny Cash. It looks like he's a wrestler version of Johnny Cash. So there was that segment as well. Then we had the shitty fucking match that belonged on the pre-show, which was Rich Swann and Sasha Banks versus Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. This match, man. Honestly, why do we need to watch this shit? It was a decent match. I actually liked some of the strikes and some of the stuff that happened in it. A Raw match at best, a 205 Live match at best, but does this belong on pay-per-view? Fuck no. It was just garbage. Pay-per-view garbage. A decent little short Raw match at best. Fucking pay-per-view garbage, though. So there's that match. Then we had fucking Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, which is trash. Trash at its finest. Dirty fucking trash. Hot, stinking, poopy diapers on a fucking stick. Not a kendo stick. Fucking... not a kendo stick on a pole match. Shitty diapers on a pole match. That's what this match was. It was trash. It was like a 2-minute squash match at best. Alexa Bliss jobbed out Bayley within a couple of minutes. And it was just fucking awful. This match just sucked. I absolutely hated it. I don't even fucking believe that we had to watch this trash. Just a couple of shots in the kendo stick from Alexa Bliss and Bayley was done. Match was over. It's just like, what? What the fuck are we being subjected to watch? Bayley has been going under shit booking for ages, and I hate watching Bayley now because she's just, the way she's booked. See, creative does this. They give us a character that we like in the beginning, and then they book them to shit, and then we end up hating them, and it's not the talent's fault. It's the booking. It's the writers, it's the creative team, it's Vince McMahon. That's what it is. It's got nothing to do with the talent. Nothing to do with the talent. It's just sad that we have to see our favourites. At first, they're our favourites. You know, there was a time when people wanted Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble. They were like, oh yeah, that was the time when Batista won it. They wanted Roman Reigns to win. But Roman didn't win. And then they're like, oh, we'll give them back what they wanted next year. We'll give them Roman winning next year. And then people just rebelled against it because they're like, nah, fuck you, not in your timing. We want what we want in our timing. And the fans rebelled hard against Roman. Because by that time, it was bad timing. They wanted Daniel Bryan, and this whole thing with Roman Reigns that hasn't ended. You know, if Daniel wasn't around and Daniel wasn't that hot at that time, Roman probably would be the guy that people love. But, nah. No. Never again. They're going to hate Roman for all time now. And it's gonna be bad for Roman. That's going to be most of his career. I don't think... Maybe at one point they'll officially announce his heel turn and make it obvious. He's a heel. But I don't think they're really going to make it obvious. They're just going to do this whole like, oh, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? No, he's none of them. He's just the guy. Deal with it. He's just the guy. He's just the champion. He's just the man. He's the guy that owns the yard. He's the guy that ended your favourite Undertaker. He's done everything that you could possibly hate. He's taken so many main events away from your fucking favourite talents like AJ Styles. He could have had the main event this year at Mania, but didn't. Instead, the WWE title went to a mid-card feud like Randy Orton and Bray fucking Wyatt. And they had a match midway through the show, which sucked absolute dick, which did not deserve to have the WWE Championship surrounding it. And it was exactly what I thought it originally was going to be, which was just hot garbage. A dumpster fire. That's what it was. An absolute fucking dumpster fire. So I'm kind of going on a rant now about WWE and the booking. Yeah. So, Alexa Bliss Bayley, shit match. Swan and Banks versus Dar and Fox was just shit. Then, what else? What else do we have? There was nothing noteworthy here. A tag match between the Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus, which was a solid match. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this match. I watched it and I was like, at first I was confused because I didn't know with the booking how this was going to go, because there's a point where Jeff Hardy escaped early. And I was like, really? They're not going to do any spot from the top of the cage? No swanton? Really? And I was just like, wow. Wow, really? They're going to do this to us. They're going to make us watch this shitty cage match when we could have got a TLC match, which we all wanted really in the first place, but we never got. And everyone was chanting for a TLC, and it was just like, we're going to be locked inside with steel with you. And everyone was just like, what? What? We had to fucking deal with this. And you know what? They made it work. The Hardys made it work. At first, I was like, oh shit, these punches look shit. Oh shit. And I was just trying to get over the whole shittiness of the whole pay-per-view up until that point. I was just like, oh, this is just trash. And then it got good. They started doing great moves. They started getting into it. And it looked good. It looked great. And I was actually really getting into it. Right decision. They put over Matt Hardy pretty well in the match. He was fighting on his own for a bit. They put over Jeff a bit. Mostly Matt Hardy. But they made the right decision. Cesaro and Sheamus won the belts. But it was so close, the Hardys almost won. You know, they did one of those finishes where they both jumped down at the same time. And they were like, oh, Cesaro and Sheamus just made it before you. So they put the Hardys over well. They put Matt over mostly, but Cesaro and Sheamus got put over as well a bit. But you can see that the Hardys benefited more from this situation than what Cesaro and Sheamus did. But me saying that could be challenged by fans because of the outcome. Of course, Cesaro and Sheamus won the tag team titles, and they deserve it, honestly, because we need credible, viable contenders for the Hardys. We need good heels, man. For Raw, we do. And Masp, welcome to the stream, my friend. We're doing the Extreme Rules review live. Yeah, we need good heels. We need good contenders for the title belts. And I think it was smart for them to put the belts on Cesaro and Sheamus, because if they didn't put the belts on Cesaro and Sheamus, then Cesaro and Sheamus would just be jobbed out, and then we'd have the Kings, the Hardys, at the top of the heap, ruling the division, and there'd be no credible contenders. No one that can take the belts off of these guys. No one that could pose a threat. Nothing. It would just be boring. We need guys that can pose a threat. And Cesaro and Sheamus, they're looking like they could do that by getting this win and by making that heel turn. Something fresh is going on, and it's good. It's giving us something decent to watch, and I'm happy with it. So Cesaro and Sheamus pick up the win. Good for them. Then we have the Cruiserweight match. At first, this was a bit boring. It wasn't very great. Most of this show was boring, guys, and I'm not overdoing it. I'm not going over the top. The booking was just bad. This show just wasn't great, guys. Honestly, it was just, most of it was trash. I don't know how they could call this Extreme Rules, because it wasn't even that extreme at all. And people have been complaining for years now that this show is just not extreme. And they're right. It's just not. They should really get rid of this pay-per-view if they're not going to go all out and make this the most extreme night of the year. They used to try to do this. They used to put in on cage matches, and yeah, they'll do a cage match almost every year at this pay-per-view. The last Extreme Rules was better, of course. I loved that. Loved it. Seth Rollins returned. AJ Styles, Roman Reigns had an amazing match. But yeah, pay-per-views like Extreme Rules and Payback, they just don't. They don't excite me. They're just boring. So the Cruiserweight match was just, it was a decent match. It got better towards the end and midway of the match. They started putting their all into it. They started getting more fast with it, faster paced. It got good, and you could see both men were putting in some decent amount of effort. Austin Aries made Neville tap on the outside of the ring, and then fight gets brought back into the ring. Neville's looking like he's pretty much psychologically defeated and physically defeated, but then Neville does this move where he, pulls Austin Aries down onto the ropes and sort of chokes him with the ropes, like a quick little choke. And then, Austin Aries, he staggers back, falls down. Neville just, it basically reaches the point where Neville gets up on the top rope. He does his red arrow onto Austin Aries' back, and then does the Rings of Saturn and makes Austin Aries tap out. And then after the match, Austin Aries was sitting outside the ring. He was smiling and staring at the camera, looking as if he had just been broken. Broken Austin Aries. That's a meme that's going around. Yeah. Austin Aries just looked like he was, I don't know, it was very weird. Very weird moment. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do with that. I don't know what WWE was thinking. If they told him to do that, then what the fuck? I don't know what that meant. Hopefully we find out more on Raw. Maybe it was just a random moment. Maybe it was just him sitting there baffled, feeling fucked up. But yeah, after this, it was the Fatal 5-Way. Great match. At first, it was just shaky. It was boring. That's kind of how all these matches started. Was shaky and boring and just awkward. It was hard to get into every match at the beginning. There's some matches where you can watch where you're just straight into it, right from the word go. This pay-per-view did not have a match like that. Even the Fatal 5-Way, I felt ready for it. I was like, yes, Fatal 5-Way, let's go, I'm ready. And then when it started, I just saw all these punches being sloppy and everything. And the way these guys were wrestling, I just hated it. And then it got better, and then they got into it, and then, it took a while for them to start doing close call pinfalls, those false finishes. It took a while for them to actually get into that and start doing them moments. It took a decent amount of time, because at first I thought, oh wow, they might end this without no false finishes. There was a match like that with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. They did one at Backlash for the WWE title where they basically did like hardly any finishes, and they did one finisher on each other, and that was about it. And most of the match was just all hard hitting offense, kind of what this match was. There wasn't too many finishes, there wasn't too many false finishes. It was just a lot of hard hitting and moments. There was a moment where Rollins jumped off from the top of the top turnbuckle, and he put who through the table? He put Bray Wyatt through the table, and it was a pretty cool match. Pretty cool for what it was. I wanted a ladder moment. That's what I wanted. I wanted someone to be laid out on the ladder. I wanted Finn Balor to climb to the top and do a coup de grace onto, say, Samoa Joe or Bray Wyatt on a table. But that didn't happen, and of course we got the match we got. And it was a good salvageable match, and it was decent. I liked it. The flow was good. The pace was good. Took a while for them to get into it, but after a while I kind of adjusted to the style of the match, and then I got into it, and then I enjoyed it, and I appreciated what it was. By the end of the match, I was like, you know what, yeah, I appreciate this. This is good. I'm happy with this, and I'll let this slide. But overall, pay-per-view overall, Extreme Rules, if I had to rate this entire pay-per-view, I'd probably say that this pay-per-view would be, out of a 10-star rating, and that's how I normally rate things, is 10 stars, maybe a 4. Maybe a 4.5 out of 10, or a 5 out of 10. 4.5 or a 5 out of 10. It's pretty bad. It's not a very good pay-per-view. I actually found Backlash to be shit as well. The last 2 pay-per-views from WWE have been trash. Honestly, the booking has been bad. But it is what it is. I actually like the Jinder vs. Randy match, but that's because every other match was trash anyway. And Jinder and Randy just put on a decent match. It wasn't like a 5-star, 6-star, 10-star match. It just was what it was. It was just a bit decent, a bit okay. It was just a cool little SmackDown match at best. But on pay-per-view, and we had to deal with it whilst watching very weird finishes on other matches. But yeah, this show was just overall, the whole show was just trash. The main event was the best, and the tag match. Those 2 matches were the best. Everything else was just shaky and horrible and just boring. Samoa Joe wins. It looked like Finn Balor was about to beat Roman, but then Samoa Joe comes in from behind, grabs Finn Balor, puts him in the Coquina clutch, chokes him the fuck out. Finn Balor just passes out, and that's it. Samoa Joe is our man, our number one contender. He will be facing Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. And we're going to have to endure Samoa Joe, one of our favourites, get jobbed out to Brock Lesnar. And I hope Joe puts up a good fight. I hope they give him 20 minutes at least. Please, just make this a fucking beast of a match. Give these guys a good amount of in-ring time just to kill it. And just have them go to town on each other. Have them go to town on each other. That'll make me happy. It'd probably make everyone happy to see Lesnar in the ring over 10 minutes. Over 15 minutes even. Please, just fucking make him go for 20 minutes. Minimum. I want 20 minutes. I think everyone else would want 20 minutes minimum, at least. I like those good classic 20 minutes matches from Lesnar. They're good. And I know we can still get them. Lesnar's still able to pull them out. He's just being a lazy fuck. And he needs to pull them out. Again. And Vince needs to put his foot down and say, you know what? No, you're wrestling 20 minutes. You're going to do this. And you're going to put Samoa Joe over, but you're not going to put him over by letting him win. You're going to win, of course, but you're going to make him look strong in a losing effort. That's what I'd like. But I have a feeling that they're just going to do 15 minutes, or they're going to do 10 or 12. They might even do a fucking quick one like Goldberg versus Lesnar and just have them go all out in the start and then have it end with these guys just pretty much doing that much damage early on that they just can't go long. And yeah, that kind of match does work, but fuck me, man. It's just so quick and cheap and easy to do. So please give Samoa Joe some more time. And I'd like to see Elias Sampson start getting some decent time so he can build up some sort of storyline, so he can do something. Maybe a triple threat feud would be cool with Dean Ambrose, The Miz, and Elias. Who knows? Rumours are still circulating that we're going to be getting Hulk Hogan back in an ambassador role. Hope that happens. I really do. That'd be great to see Hulk Hogan back home in the WWE. What else have we got? We've got a few other things. Yeah, everyone from the Fatal 5-Way, according to Dave Meltzer, everyone in that Fatal 5-Way match is having a match with Lesnar before WrestleMania. Except for Roman Reigns. He's going to get the WrestleMania spot. So I'm thinking Great Balls of Fire will go to Samoa Joe. SummerSlam will probably go to Finn Balor or Seth Rollins. So that's 2 matches. Then Survivor Series will probably go to maybe Rollins or Balor. I'm just going to say SummerSlam will be Balor. Rollins will be Survivor Series. Royal Rumble. They need someone for the Royal Rumble. Bray Wyatt could be the Royal Rumble, but I don't think they will do Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble. You know what? This is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say Great Balls of Fire is Samoa Joe. And after that at SummerSlam, they're probably going to do what? Probably do Finn Balor. Then they'll do... that'll be a cool match as well. if they do that, because it's the very first ever Universal Champion, and he lost at his very first SummerSlam, and he won the Universal title there. Very first ever Universal Champion. That'd be a cool match to do, really. So yeah, I think he'll get that SummerSlam spot. Survivor Series will probably be... No, let's just give it to Bray Wyatt and then give Rollins the Rumble. And then Mania will go to Reigns. And Reigns will get the title. Reigns will be the Universal Champion. He'll beat Brock Lesnar clean! And we're going to fucking hate it, and we're going to boo and all that bullshit, but we're just going to have to deal with it. But there you go, guys. That's Extreme Rules wrapped up for you. That is my 45-minute review of it. Shit show, guys. Honestly, I don't recommend you watching it, but if you love WWE and you're just loyal regardless of what garbage they spew out, like myself, just watch it. Make up your own mind. You see, I can give my review and I can say what I feel, guys, and I can say what I think, and I can warn you as much as I can. But at the end of the day, your decision is your decision, and your tastes is your tastes. What you're interested in is what you're interested in. I can't say that I'm interested in this and then be speaking on behalf of the whole world and saying, yes, this is what the whole world wants, because obviously you've got your own opinions. So yeah, you can watch Extreme Rules, but a lot of people hated the fucking show, and it's, yeah, I just didn't like it. It was just garbage. Fatal 5-Way, good. Tag match, good. Watch them two matches. That's what I recommend. Good matches. Cruiserweight match is an okay match. You can watch that if you want. Other than that, everything else is garbage. If you want to get a good laugh and just see shitty booking, or if you want to be pissed off at shitty booking, please do watch Alexa Bliss versus fucking Bayley. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you do want more of these podcasts, if you do want more reviews, I'm going to be doing more reviews of shows like Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, stuff like that. I'll keep these coming, guys. I'll do them as much as I can every week. Hopefully my numbers go up. I'd like that. But my content isn't being pushed by YouTube. They're not trying to get my content out there, so I won't be surprised if I don't really go anywhere. But if you do want to support, if you do want to stay on board, if you want to see more of these, if you want to hear more podcasts of me reviewing these shows, these pay-per-views, these weekly shows, all this stuff, the rumors when they do come out, please do subscribe, please do like the video, share it around if you feel like you need to or you want to, and I will be back soon, my friends. I will be reviewing Raw next, SmackDown, and what comes after it. Peace out, my friends. Have a good one.